Ahoy, fellow odd couples.
And welcome aboard The Joy of Trek, a disciplined podcast exploring the habitat rings and bad roommates of Star Trek. All of it. I'm Kaki.
I'm Kay.
And reading Odo's smut collection is your chief engineer, Greg.
Together, we're on a mission through the mountains of Star Trek to find the cannibal in every Ferengi and the excellence in every episode.
Even the Witness Protection Program.
Because every episode must be someone's favorite, and it might as well be us.
So share your trousers and join us as we complain our way to safety into
The joy of Trek. Well, this shouldn't be hard to guess.
Really? Could you have guessed it?
Well, from this, probably not, but
Right.
I don't know, it's been so long since I watched DS9. And then, well, yeah, let's just say that it's probably an episode. Well, I don't know. Well, okay, let's just start with which episode. It's called The Ascent,
Yep.
Season 5, Episode 9.
From Deep Space Nine, in which...
Oh, in which there's a lot of bitching.
Yeah. There's a lot of, famously my favorite thing is people bickering at each other. Oh, how funny that they're bickering. Can you believe it? Yeah. An interesting pairing of odd couples.
Well,
Because, Chief,
Yeah.
What happens in this episode?
Trapped on an inhospitable world, Quark and Odo must work together to survive. Meanwhile, Nog returns to the station from Starfleet Academy.
Thank you.
I mean, it's the standard pair. I mean, like Odo versus Quark and the return of Jake and Nog.
Yeah. Like, two... actually, yeah. Two of the essential DS9 relationships. Right? Because, both of them, their relationship has existed exclusively on DS9. They didn't know each other beforehand.
Yes. Well, yeah, Jake and Nog got to meet each other. Nog's been away to Starfleet Academy for a year.
Yeah, he's a little try-hard.
It's only 1 year, and then they send you out for, it's only 1 year military academy. Strange.
Oh, no. It's multiple years, but, after the first year, apparently you have, 6 months work placement.
Oh, right, that makes sense.
Right, as part of your sophomore year.
Right,
and then
okay, that makes sense.
Who knows what you do. Maybe you're already on Starship rotation.
Yeah, depending on where you want to go, can and will go. So I can assume that Sisko asked for Nog or offered him a position or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
It seems unlikely that it just happens it's just happenstance that he gets assigned to DS9.
Yes. Well... Oh, I guess they probably do, make allowances for, you want to be around your own species if that's possible, right? To have some familiarity. Now that you have 1 year of hard indoctrination,
yes,
like they like to do.
Well, we're sure working on but let's not get ahead of ourselves. Who recommended this episode to us?
I'm really curious because The Ascent, I always forget that it exists.
Yes.
I've done multiple rewatches of DS9, and whenever
it catches you by surprise.
Whoa, that one was there. And every time it feels new, I've seen it a bunch of times. So, The Ascent first aired on November 25th, 1996, written by Ira Stephen Bear and Robert Hewitt Wolfe, directed by Alan Croker, and was recommended by Matt Kennedy, who I believe is a first-time caller.
Oh.
Thank you, Matt, who says, "Hi, guys. This is my first recommendation. I've been listening for a while now, and I adore the show, and it's taken me a long time to decide which episode I want to recommend." Ooh, this is a great start, Kay.
Okay, yeah.
And it's got to be The Ascent. This is a wonderful showcase for the enemies with benefits, Quark and Odo. Oh my God! Enemies with benefits is so f***ing good. And the reason I love this episode is because as someone who is firmly on Team Space Goblin,
Yes.
this is one of the few times where Odo gets called out for his bullshit.
Okay.
I always scream and cheer when Quark calls him a fascist to his face. But this is classic Trek, because as much as they hate each other, they have to learn to work together in order to survive.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like an enemy mine all over again, except...
Very much so, yeah. Except, do they learn anything from each other?
No.
Jake and Nog
they
stand a chance, but
they stand. It's implied that they will. If
this is fascinating.
If not by force, then by if not by free will, then by force. But
okay,
I don't think Quark and Odo learn anything.
Exactly.
From each other.
It's unusual to do a recap in the middle of the recommendation while it's still being read because Matt isn't finished yet.
Oh,
but
okay.
yeah, you're right. Quark and Odo learn nothing from each other and don't change at all.
No.
They don't succeed because they learned something that the other one didn't walk a mile in each other's shoes.
Stupid pig-headedness. Well, they did walk a mile in each other's trousers. But
Yeah, no, that's true. No, but like they're incredibly rigid, robust characters who won't compromise who they are, and you can still work together apparently without doing that.
Yeah.
Well, let's find out. The B plot parallels this, with Jake and Nog learning to live together as roommates while Sisko finds an unexpected ally in Rom. This episode is about being open to each other's differences and for that to lead to acceptance.
Well, in the case of Nog and Jake, yes. In the case of Quark and Odo, I disagree. But
Well, there is some acceptance. There is a grudging respect that at least Odo has for Quark.
yes, I mean,
And there is
I think that his general opinion that Quark is a good-for-nothing has been slightly bellowed out a little bit. But that's about
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that he's learned anything.
And Quark, I mean, he just has very particular feelings for Odo that he gets a bunch of Odo's attention, which is the thing that he wants most in the universe, really. So, it works out for everyone in some way.
Sure, yeah.
Some other things, says Matt. I proudly carry the title.
Yeah.
I proudly carry the title of lemon-stealing whore.
Yay, thank you.
And if there were to be a badge, I would totally buy one. Oh my God. Ooh, that's a good idea. Let's see
Okay.
if we can... God, that would be so many layers deep, though.
A badge. I mean, we can work on. My boyfriend's got a 3D printer, and I've got an electroplating kit. So
Oh, that sounds like a threat. Okay.
we might be able to work on something.
Ransom notes have been written that start with those. No, but think about it. Like, a lot of the time, when people make, like, merch for their show, it shows off what the show is. And like a
Right.
badge that calls you a lemon-stealing whore. It's so far away from the joyoftrek.com website.
True.
In your opening tagline, says Matt, every episode has to be someone's favorite, and it might as well be us, should it not be ours? As well, it might as be our favorite. Oh,
That's an interesting take. I mean, grammatically, it sounds weird. It might as well be. Yes, it is grammatically correct, but it sounds weird. I've always found that. But
yeah. That
must be
is
shown.
better. Why didn't we do that? Because I remember we did a discussion about, it's someone's favorite, and it might as well be us.
yes,
Why didn't we think of ours? That makes a lot more sense.
I suppose. Yes, I don't know.
Okay, here's a game for the players at home, for the listeners at home. Try and guess if we'll remember this next time, because I think it's a great idea
Oh, well,
to
yes.
update the script. But will we?
And maybe like it's more likely than in about 6 to 8 weeks after I listen to the show again, and I'm reminded by this, and it's like, oh yeah,
And then another 6 to 8 weeks after that.
before it starts. But yeah,
And finally, the topic of silicon-based life and viruses keeps coming up. If I remember my high school chemistry correctly, silicon has a valency of 4, meaning that it bonds to the same elements that carbon does. So in theory, you could make a hydrocarbon chain with silicon instead of carbon, and they would have similar behavior.
okay,
Oh, whoa!
interesting. All right.
This is high school chemistry?
Beats my high levels of high school chemistry.
Exactly. So I think these silicon-based plot lines are all very plausible. Anyway, enough rambling. Thank you, all three of you, for being so great. And no, I will keep listening as long as you keep making the show. Yeah,
Well, thank you very much.
which is how I produce. Matt says LLAP,
Oh,
live long and prosper. But
Right.
when I like to pronounce it the Welsh way.
yeah.
Clap.
Okay, yes, fair enough.
Oh, Matt, thank you so much. How wonderful it is that we're hearing from long-time listeners, and I hope Matt sets an example, because this is amazing. An episode that I always forget that exists, and now it's been recommended by
Right.
someone for a very good reason. What did other people think about it?
Oh, well, the only thing I could really find was a bit of Reddit comment on it here and left. All Sunday Jelly said, someone once said to me that DS9 was the Odo and Quark show, and I agree. They
Yes.
love to hate each other is both comedic and really heartwarming.
Yes, absolutely.
Sir Sullymore says, I love this episode, but it always cracks me up how it's supposed to be this terrible freezing nightmare planet, but looks suspiciously like a pleasant Californian mountain range on a beautiful sunny day.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
It was real hard on the actors.
Oh, to have to wear those warm clothes and then trot up
Yep.
and down the mountain.
Up and down the mountains it was 18 degrees in Sensible.
I can tell you, I mean, I've been skiing every once in a while, and it can be beautiful and sunny and still be very cold. So
Oh, absolutely. As it was this morning as I was biking to the pool. Gosh,
Yes.
it was chilly.
Slightly Censored says, Puddle and the Goblin hate each other for 7 seasons.
He's not a puddle now,
Not
but
anymore,
sure,
no,
yeah.
yes.
Not this.
And PK Waffles makes a comment that quite closely mirrors my own. He said, "This episode is Lord of the Rings, lol." whereas I believe I said while we were watching it, now it just looks like an 80s adventure movie.
Yeah, a little bit.
Specifically
on.
that panning shot across, which and then zooms in on Quark crawling up the...
Yes, while two actors were pretending to struggle across, a very accessible path, because you can't put your expensive actors on an inaccessible path and expect them to still show up for work next week, which is kind of important in a television show.
Usually, yes. I mean, I suppose they have contractual obligations.
But these are descriptions. Like, what? Like, is it on any lists or reviews? No, it just doesn't show up anywhere.
Twitter.com gave it a number, but it's like it's one of the. That's just nothing.
So it's not just me.
Yeah, no.
It's a reverse Mandela effect.
I guess
where
so, yes.
Everybody just believes we live in a universe where the episode doesn't exist, and not for hating it or anything.
No, it just doesn't show up. It's just so middle of the road, I guess, that it completely falls by the way. Does that make sense?
Middle of the road that it falls by the wayside. I like it, Kay. I like it. Shall we warp into the episode?
Yes, I don't think there's any warp cores to eject. Do I have any warp cores? No, nothing really. No. I mean, just a few little plasma vents here and there. But
that's okay.
That's fine.
It's an audio medium. No one can smell them.
I mean, I was kind of disappointed that there was no Ferengi sleeping bags or anything. Whenever you see Quark lying around, he just has no
cocoons
rather than cocooning himself completely like apparently Ferengi do. They're just he just sleeps like a normal person in this episode.
Boring.
And this question was answered by itself. I don't have just says weird relationship plot, but that's kind of what this episode is about. So yes, let's go. Hit it on.
We start with father and son scene.
Yes.
Don't you think you might be overpacking?
And throughout this, did you get the vibe that Sisko was sort of stalling?
Oh yes, he's totally a pre-empty nest syndroming.
Yeah.
Yes, totally. I mean, he got that. There's another episode I'm trying to think of. There's another episode where Jake, isn't that where he wants to, when he's about to leave to New Zealand or something?
When that was our first DS9 episode.
Right,
Explorers, when he got the...
that was that Explorers? Okay, yeah.
Yes, he'd gotten a scholarship to go to a school in Wellington, which he decided at that time not to take. That was season 1, 2, or 3? Chief, when was it?
So that would be Explorers, which is the end of season 3, 322.
No, it was much later, because depending on how old Jake was at the time. Jake started off as a mid-teenager.
Yeah.
So...
Okay, well, Chief has already told us now, so we'll find out in 6 to 8 weeks or whatever the lead time is by now.
But yes, he is throwing stuff in his bag, in his suitcase, and apparently Sisko here learns that Jake is not moving right next door in 1G12, but he's going to...
Found some great quarters over in Section M.
That's all the way on the other side of the habitat ring.
Yeah!
Dad, don't get all sentimental on me.
And he does the sort of fake punching of the shoulders, boxing, that hey, don't get sentimental on me.
And it turns out that him and Nog are moving in together because Nog is coming back to DS9.
Yep. And there's even apparently they've already agreed on some limits. So
I can visit anytime I want, but I have to call first. You're not available for breakfast, lunch, but I can count on one dinner a week.
And
maybe
some weeks,
two.
maybe even 2.
Yes.
I have raised a very generous son.
It is. He is okay. He is bitching a little bit, but it's also very good natured. You know, it's but yes, I do think there's a little bit of preeminent emptiness syndrome approaching for him.
I mean, it's he loves his boy,
of course, yes,
and it's
Someone else who loves his boy is Rom, because Rom is getting everything in order for Nog's return.
Yes, he's fussing around in his room, moving things like Spock did before T'Pring arrived. Right, moving things just slightly. And who shows up but...
Quark.
Yeah.
Oh, it's you?
With 2 big crates.
Yeah, well, it's more like trays than crates. But yes, root beer.
I don't know how to thank you, brother.
Well, you can pay me.
Yeah, as usual. Quark slightly disgusted that Rom drinks root beer. It's so human. This is fantastic.
And bubbly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Next person to arrive.
Constable.
Yeah.
Odo, who declines a root beer and is here, in fact, to arrest Quark.
Yes. To see
Tell the Federation Grand Jury on Inferna Prime.
And what for? What for? I can't possibly be arrested for anything. Well.
Oh, I think you know.
It's kind of interesting, though, because I think Odo is either being deliberately misleading here.
Yeah.
Because
as we find out, he in fact doesn't know.
Well, not even that, because he would, if what Quark says is in fact true, that he is there to be heard as a witness, you wouldn't get an arrest warrant. You would get a summons.
Yeah.
So quote Odo would know if he's like just being asked to come over to testify, if he's being summoned, or if he's being placed under arrest.
If it's special witness protection protocols that may permit the falsification of an arrest warrant.
Seems
right?
Unlikely.
Well, in order to be able to protect a valuable asset like that, because Odo didn't know for whatever reason.
They also didn't do that because then the Syndicate wouldn't have tried to blow up the ship.
Well, the Syndicate apparently has better intelligence, or maybe has moles inside the judicial court or wherever.
It's all a bit iffy.
Yeah. See, okay. This episode, the concept for this episode started with Ira Stephen Bear really liking Waiting for Godot.
Sounds familiar, but I don't think I've seen it.
So it's a play with not really a discernible plot.
Okay.
There are two characters, Vladimir and Estragon, and they spend most of the time just complaining and bickering while waiting for...
one of your favorites.
Yes, exactly.
Waiting for Godot.
Yeah, so who is someone else or an event or whatever, something that and it's quite existential and philosophical, but it doesn't really have a plot or a reason for stuff to happen.
Right.
Which is fine when it's being performed by Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen.
Oh.
Which, if I have a time machine, that's where I'm going. I'm going to watch that performance with them two. I hope they wear bowler hats. But so he wanted to do a Waiting for Godot story, and also.
But hang on, it can't have been. Oh, of course, the play is older than that, because I was going to say he can't have seen it with Patrick Stewart and
no, okay,
because they didn't meet each other until X-Men.
Yes, which was 6 years in the future. Hey, the temporal vortex it works in mysterious ways. But René Auberjonois and Armin Shimmerman, who are fast friends, and I think have been way before the show even started. They have repeatedly told the writers, "Hey, this is a really interesting relationship. Can we have an episode about us?" And
yeah, sure.
I don't know, maybe under guild rules, make a little bit of extra money while we're at it. I don't know how that works.
Not a clue. Well, they wouldn't have gotten more extra money for location shoots, as you pointed out.
Yes, well, that depends. I don't know.
I don't think they have mountains like this quite so close to Hollywood. But
so this was filmed in Mount Whitney in Central California, and the crew stayed in Lone Pine. They had a great time and a terrible time filming this. The terrible time was because of various logistical problems. It was quite hot. They had to carry all this stuff. But also, Armin Shimmerman nearly passed out on the first day because the interaction between his prosthetic and the high altitude environment was bad.
Okay. Rom has an intervention.
Brother!
What?
I'll say hi to Nog for you.
And he then just takes another little sip of his root beer and has this happy little smile on his face while Quark is being carted off. Cue the first of many, many, many bitching sounds when they are on a runabout on their way to something prime.
Yeah,
Inferna
Prime. Yeah.
It's going to take 8 days.
Yeah. That's an awful... And you can just be away from your job, Odo.
2 weeks, more than that, yeah. Plus
and
the time
on the
there,
way back, and we're all just kind of cool with that.
That's pretty long. I don't know how much a runabout can do, but...
I mean, it's no Enterprise D.
No, but yeah, I mean... I'm sure they can get a couple of warps in.
Yeah, you'd think maybe it'd even be easier or faster to travel commercial. You'd
think so, yeah.
A transfer on Trill and catching a nice Warp 9 capable cruiser or something.
I have no idea. But yes, Quark is bored and he tries to play cards with Odo, who just wants to sit and read his rom-com smut or whatever it is.
Oh, he specifically wants...
Care for a game of Fizbin?
A game invented by James Tiberius Kirk, which was just an incredibly convoluted set of rules in order to keep some guards distracted. Like, the role of the dealer transits from the left to right, except on Tuesdays. Then it transits from
It's just
from
Joe
left to
Gonny,
right.
go.
It's Go Johnny, yeah. Or as you just said, Joe Gonny, go, which I like even more. The exact same joke. No, but it is Fizbin. Actually, Fizbin's from 1966 or 67. Okay. So it beats the League of Gentlemen by quite a margin. But Odo is a bit of a stick in the mud because...
I don't want to play cards, and even if I did, I wouldn't want to play with you.
a bit sultry.
Yeah, because he's just reading his little romance novel, as Quark finds out when he steals the pad. And it sounds a bit like the sort of fiction that you and I read in the very first episode of this show.
Yeah.
She unclasped it, and the cloak fell from her shoulders.
And her
Her
boobs.
wet skin
Her wet boobs.
glistening in the moonlight.
Yes.
As she titted boobily.
Boobly titted down the plank.
Yeah. And he glued it off into the moonlight to the sound of galloping abs.
Yes. He offers him a copy of Vulcan Love Slave instead.
Yes, which...
famous book, apparently.
And a holonovel. I don't know that... But the title doesn't hold immediate appeal, I've got to say.
I think there was a little bit of theorizing about that after that episode of Enterprise with the Ferengi. They seem to recall that might be the origin of that book.
Oh, that's the Paul.
Yes.
Oh, that's right. Oh, that's such a good retcon. But yeah, Odo is so uptight and out of touch with his feelings because he claims...
It is a well-known fact that a high percentage of homicides are motivated by romantic obsession.
And therefore, this is just research.
Yes,
Mom,
of course.
Mom, it's for school. It's for biology class, Mom.
Yeah. Nog reports in. Gets a little pep talk from...
Yes, sir. Very good, sir.
Oh, I had those favorited as well because he says yes, sir, a lot. Like this whole conversation, it's...
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yes,
sir. Very good, sir. Don't worry, sir.
I mean, they've got that into him, you know. It's like just like first and last word out of your mouth will be, "Sir, you understand me?"
Yes, sir. And this is after he says,
Cadet.
"At ease."
Yes. Well, that just means you don't have to stand at attention.
Oh, is that right?
Yes.
Oh, okay. That doesn't sort of lower the formality of the interaction.
No, I don't think he invites him to sit later, but.
And he's being kind of friendly, and he has a ritual for it because he's fully formal. And then he rolls his baseball across the desk.
Yes.
And now we're informal, like I'm your
I'm your friend's father. Yeah.
Yeah. You're my son's bestie. And we have both relationships. And this is the talking stick. If you have the talking stick, then it's okay. That's such a cool way to use it.
And at one point he gestures, okay, give it back now. It's like,
oh, right. Yes, this interaction has now concluded. Yes. I hope we all enjoyed it.
Dismissed.
That's exactly right. And then, I just tapped a Jeep, hoping so that you could see him almost like clicking his heels.
Oh, yeah.
As Nog turns around.
Turn about and marches out of there. He does a little bit of humble bragging towards Kira.
Who asks how it went, and he says...
I inspire him.
Now don't let him down.
Oh, this was her brief, like, dark-haired phase.
Oh, okay.
Instead of the more reddish hair coloring that Kira usually has.
Can't say I noticed.
I wonder if she's already wearing her... She had several outfit changes in response to her pregnancy.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Which I think was the actress Nana Visitor's pregnancy. I'm not entirely sure if that happened here.
So, next, Jake and Nog look into their quarters. It's amazing.
So
it's
exciting.
Fantastic. Yes.
I think I've died and gone to the Divine Treasury.
I'm not bidding on your next life, so...
See, when you have an episode that's about a relationship... When they start jovial and friendly, you know that it's going to go wrong, right?
Well,
because
it goes wrong almost immediately because Jake wants to basically go back to what they were up to, but Nog is all about, well, I don't have time for that. I have to unpack and then I have to go to bed because we're going to get up early and I'm going to be on duty. And he is, still firmly into the Starfleet rhythm.
Yeah, but like. They've both been away from each other for like a month or a year and a half, thereabouts. And they both, like, the friendship that they had was really important in their lives. But of course, at this age, 1 year is a huge difference.
Very true, yeah.
Especially when you do something like military service or study abroad. You have so many new experiences.
Or lie about and just write.
Well, exactly. I mean, as someone who's dabbled, I don't really approve of that particular... but it's, as Sisko said, it's not an unfair assessment. Because, yeah, not everybody goes and makes their move and changes their life so completely. No. But so those that do, like, they believe that they're still compatible with what they used to have.
Yeah, absolutely.
But that's not necessarily true, right?
No, and yes, Nog is more than happy to, like, impose the Starfleet regiment on him.
Oh, my God.
And so, Jake is like...
I'll do the clean on the odd number days, and you'll do it on the even ones.
I didn't mean to do it. It was an accident.
No,
Please continue. It was an accident, though. I didn't mean to tap it.
But yes, he's like...
No, you do yours. Nobody heard either of them now. They're both great.
Okay, I lost my train of thought. I forgot my lead into this one.
He was Nog was establishing the rules.
Yes.
He was, as we say in Dutch, handing out the bed sheets.
Yes, he was. Well, it's more like imposing them rather than establishing them. But yes, Jake is like...
We're going to clean every day?
No, we're not going to clean every day.
No, just the odd and even ones.
Yeah. Leaving Jake with a rather puzzled expression. But yes, then he gets like, oh, shall we go Dom Jot, holosuites? Nope, nothing, everything. Up at 4:30 and in the gym.
Yep. What for?
Muscles, Jake! You know, those things that are supposed to go between your bones and your skin?
Spoken like a squatty. Spoken like a drill sergeant.
He has downed the workahol.
Yeah, actually, yeah. As a commercial space station, they probably don't have like a lot of workahol in the atmosphere.
I guess he's still high on the supply from Federation.
Yeah,
Starfleet Academy. That's the word.
And having grown up without, like, he doesn't have the same resistance.
Oh, that
like,
would be it. Yes. Well, remember, it's like the theory that the kids are inoculated against the workahol. Remember, I believe I voiced a theory regarding Wesley about that.
Yeah, he just makes his own.
But yes, Quark is meanwhile just like playing with himself, well, with his cards at least. Just like he's doing the little card toss game, I guess, where you just flip cards. I've never really understood, but you see it sometimes in movies. People will just sit there and try to throw cards into a hat or into in this case, onto a chair.
It's a dexterity exercise.
And apparently, we learned that Quark suffers from, what's it called again?
Oral sensitivity?
No, well, misphonia or something.
Oh, okay.
It's, specifically sensitivity to especially people eating or other annoying sound. But one thing that triggers it in a lot of people is people eating.
Right, yeah.
Misophonia, I think it's called, yes.
Chief?
Yes, misophonia is a disorder of decreased tolerance to specific sounds or their associated stimuli or cues. So you just evoke unpleasant emotional, physiological, or behavior responses to certain stimuli, whether it be audio or scent or visual, anything like that. So misophonia.
Thank you. For me, it's people eating apples, specifically. The sound like, I don't enjoy that sensation myself, and my sort of teeth shrivel. Right. So, like, sitting in a train across from somebody and an apple, that's an investment. It takes a while. Then I just know I'm going to have a real bad time.
I've heard people, like, literally having, well, probably not literally, but, like, having murderous thoughts about their co-workers. Because every sip of tea is like...
But this happens to, like, when you're cooped up and you have no variation in the stimulus that you experience, then
Odo is just eating soup or something, and he's not even being that noisy about it. But no, apparently, Ferengi with Ferengi ears, you hear a lot.
Yes, and he hears this buzzing that's weird and this hissing. Can't you hear it? And Odo says,
all this lip smacking, how could I hear anything?
And literally, yes, when Quark wanders off to go listen.
It's coming from here.
Yeah. And they go to the backside of the set, which is not visited very often.
No, this is where the controls are, and...
it's a bomb.
Dun, dun, dun!
There is a bomb hidden under a panel
a panel with a big glowing light in it.
That's probably some sort of conduit.
Some sort of tube, but that's the thing where your eye immediately goes.
Right, it took me
missing,
a while. In fact, missing the bomb, which is supposed to be the...
Like, that's a weird design for a bomb. It's just a glowing yellow tube. Oh, now I see it.
Yes. At first I thought, like, oh, that's probably not supposed to be... The electricity shots you sometimes see where there's like a literally red hot nut in a wiring closet.
Oh, yes, the the short circuit indicator light.
Exactly, yes. I think we've got to fall to ground somewhere.
Yeah. Oops. So they have one plan, has Odo, which is to beam it out, but oh no.
What if it's set to go off if someone tries to transport it?
Which, in fact, it turns out to be. But yes, we keep standing here right next to the bomb.
Yes, exactly.
Quark
Don't even face away. Just
Quark is literally leaning over the bomb
with his whole face.
Yes,
his precious face exposed to this bomb, which does indeed go off as it's beamed out, just a little bit.
Yeah, despite the fact that it was in the floor.
Yeah,
and it still manages to take out almost all the rations, most of the transmitter, which was in a different compartment.
Yeah.
It's managed to hull breach. It managed to get rid of all the survival suits, which were in a different compartment.
Yeah, also.
And it just has
inconvenient.
and a minor leak in the...
Oh, man. I wish that hadn't happened. I wish it had gone just a different way, man. Oops. I mean...
But, yes, sorry?
Maybe it's Odo's fault. Maybe he, forgot Maybe, he doesn't do a lot of beaming. Maybe he just beamed it into the back compartment instead of out into space. And he won't admit it. Oh, and it's so romantic and sweet of Quark to not mention it. That it's because he beamed the bomb into the survival locker.
That seems very unlikely. Quark would not mention something like that.
Okay, but what if he does it all the time? What if we watch the rest of DS9 and we find out that he's so forgiving and kind toward poor, stupid Odo, who's incredibly incompetent all the time?
That would be mirror image Quark. Mirror universe Quark.
Yeah. Mirror Universe is like a hero of the rebellion who died to save his friends, canonically. Right? So, yeah.
I know, that's like I said, that's Mirror Universe Quark who would do that.
For the quantum physicists among you, what would a Mirror Universe Quark be? You know, the subatomic particle that he may or may not be named after?
Right.
Would it be itself? Would it be,
It depends on which quarks.
Exactly. Do you know what they're called? Flavors.
Top, bottom, left, right, strange, and...
Magic.
Oh, no.
I think.
Ooh.
Strange and...
Oh, what was the last one?
Was it Squirtle?
No.
Those are the... Pikachu!
No, I have no idea. Well, one of them.
Oh no, everything's fritzing.
Comm systems down. Navigational arrays failing.
Oh no.
Long-range sensor spots an L-class planet which is right outside the window.
Oh, we've got to find somewhere to land.
Human crash.
It's either that or wait for our lungs to explode in the vacuum of space.
Oh, there's one. And off they fly.
Now, as they're going down, it turns out what is going on. Because Quark says...
Believe me, you don't want to get anywhere near the Orion Syndicate.
And this is where Quark is like, oh, what? Odo, I mean.
Yeah, and wait, you didn't know?
Yeah.
I thought you knew.
If I knew you were involved in the Orion Syndicate, you'd be on the Defiant right now, surrounded by half my deputies.
Yeah, I'm not, though.
No, and so...
You pretended to know more than you did, so I think I have nothing to hide and say something to incriminate myself.
Something like that?
This is all your fault.
Bicker.
Yes.
I'm on Team Space Goblin too, just like...
In this case, he's in the right, yes. There's a little bit of crashy, there's more, flying through the trees, crashing, coming down. And when they open up why do I keep confusing my Ferengi? Quark.
Well, they're all single-syllable names. It's tricky.
True, yes.
I think you're doing great, Kay.
But yes, it's cold. There's nothing to eat. There's 2 packs of rations.
There's no comb. Odo doesn't have his comb.
And here I was like, why is his fake hair dissolved? But turns out I didn't realize that this was after the
ungoopening.
Yes.
Yeah, because he's no longer a puddle. He's a solid. And
he can and must eat.
Yep.
So, yes. Quark... Sorry, I'm doing it again. Nog...
Yes, it's difficult.
In the meanwhile, is exercising with his variable weight halters.
Yeah, they're fun little.
This is like
things.
This must be. I guess it messes with the gravity plating or something.
Oh, that's a fun idea.
Like you can just like dial a weight because he's using the same weights for everything. And you can see him like twisting it, and
that's
this
so
little
cool.
red light goes up and down depending on if he wants heavy or light weights.
Oh wow, it's got two little marbles of like exotic matter in there, and when you rub them together faster, then the mass increases. And
Something like that, yes.
Jiggle them the other way like a shake weight.
Yes, it's got instead of having a bass and a tremble, it's got a mass and a.
Stick the landing. I believe in you.
What was the other one again? I didn't.
You can do it, Kay.
Tremble. No, what was it?
Bass and treble versus mass and...
Oh, I can't remember what it was.
You can call the chief if you need to.
It's from an... Yes, Chief, it's from an Alan Dean Foster. It's from Spellsinger.
Did that work, do you think?
Yeah, he probably...
Would you have had to read the whole thing?
Nah, it's in the first few chapters.
Okay, well, Chief, once you've done some reading, get back to us on that one. We're very curious about that, but take your time, but not too much time.
Yes, it's kind of like a magical guitar type thing, and like if you turn the mass button, it actually changes the weight of the guitar.
Oh!
I just have to say that I love my local library because thanks to my library, I was able to find it where Google was failing me because, yes, so the narrator, I don't know this book at all, so I'm just going to read this passage. He looked closely at them and then looked again. Instead of the usual treble and bass, they read tremble and mass. So yes, like Kay says, the guitar pedal changes the weight of the guitar, and that's neat. Again, just shout out to your library. Your library lets you like look up cool stuff like this with an ebook, do a search, and do it this way, and it's so much better than spending like 20 minutes frantically trying to find anything on any website that mentions this series. But yeah, go support your libraries. Libraries are good. Love libraries.
And Jake gets up, still carrying his blanket for some reason.
Yes.
Orders himself
a large
orange juice, extra large.
Which is
a healthy way to start the day.
He says as he sort of uncloaks himself from the blanket like a forest prophet. Like what?
Because he's been sleeping in apparently, although probably not that long. I don't know how long Nog's been exercising for. Nog's also been editorializing his stories.
Yes, because he found, or there was the manuscript of past prologue, which Jake was writing.
I found it while I was cleaning up. Disposal is spelled with an I.
Yeah, this is a little bit more bickering, but not too much because he has to go out, hit the shower, and get on to his day of duty.
I do want to pause here a little bit and stick with this scene because he says,
I mostly corrected your spelling and grammar.
And there's a whole thing about...
You can't change a writer's words without his permission. That's sacrilege.
You've clearly never heard about an editor.
Jake is the one who helped Nog to learn to read.
Oh, right, that's true, yes.
Because illiteracy is apparently like the norm for Ferengi. Like to maintain a competitive advantage.
That's right, yes. I forgot about that.
So having come from illiteracy... At least in Federation standard, or maybe even in general.
I guess he must have had some remedial classes at Starfleet.
And like just whatever your path is, coming from there to like exceeding your teacher and like correcting him on his spelling.
Right.
That's
I mean, did they uninvent spelling checkers in the 23rd century?
I hate those little squiggly, so I always turn them off.
Or you could just spell the words right.
Hey, hold on. You don't know. Oh no, the hook and Glen hook accidents are easy to make, and also like everybody has a different sort of facility with the position of letters.
And these days, of course, there's autocorrupt.
Yes. Did you call it autocorrupt now? Has it gone from
autocorrupt,
and then it went to author corrupt?
In my experience, authors rarely need more corruption.
Yeah.
They're perfectly capable of doing that on their own.
So there's a lot of strain between them. You know, actually, I'm getting into watching these scenes as if they're basically parallel universe versions of each other.
Oh.
As if every scene between Quark and Odo has an equivalent to a scene with Jake and Nog that we're not seeing.
Oh, maybe.
Right? So there's an equal period And we're at any time, we're either tuning into one reality, Jake Nog, or Quark Odo, and seeing how they do.
That's about right, yeah.
So the next part is Quark and Odo are piecing together, like, what are our options here now that we've crashed on this cold place? Well, all, actually.
The signal booster's completely shot.
Yep.
Which means there's no way we can transmit a distress signal through a planetary atmosphere.
But there is an option. More altitude, less atmosphere.
Yep. Actually, really good thinking, Quark.
Carry the 7.
Oh, I like
take
that.
The square root times pi.
I'd say
and then just point at the mountain, at the highest mountain that happens to be nearby and outside this window.
Yes, they do a little bit of raiding the supply closet. There's a blanket. Quark has found himself a survival suit, which
he doesn't zip up.
No, and off they go. They're carrying the transmitter.
Yep. Some difficult shooting days here, because also how do you make a gorgeous late spring day that's absolutely heavenly look like it's fucking freezing?
Yeah.
So one of the things that director Alan Croker did was to use nice wide lenses with very deep focus, which, that's what you do when you've got a lot of light at your disposal. So you get a sense of that desolation. And also because wide lenses are often used in cold weather scenes like skiing.
Right, yes. Did you say spring day? But if you look at the...
Oh, yeah, you're right. I'm sort of made that up.
That looks more like autumn.
That does look positively autumnal. Or maybe that's just the coloration of the chlorophyll here.
But that doesn't help. That doesn't hold water for the shoot when they shot.
Now I know.
Soon enough, it's mostly pines anyway, because they are climbing higher and higher.
And complaining. Because apparently, like Jake and Nog, they've divided the system where, here we go.
You've got a lot of nerve complaining about being cold when you're the one wearing the jacket.
Well, you agreed to take turns.
You just call them Jake and Nog rather than Quark and Odo. But
because it's basically,
I know.
Like, they've got their fucking chore wheel, except their chore wheel involves undressing.
There's a little bit of what I think is actual concern from Odo when Quark falls.
Yes.
Are you okay? Is the transmitter okay? As long as you haven't broken it.
Yeah.
Not for the last time, Quark mentions...
I think I'll just lay here and freeze to death.
That seems okay. That was a good plan.
There's a little bit of...
Definitely going to achieve that.
But I get the jacket. And Odo says...
But I get the trousers.
So, yes.
Yeah.
Well, we know who's wearing the pants in this relationship.
Oh, that actually reminds me. I'm going to scroll up a little bit because there's a bit where Odo is complaining about how he, this would be so much more convenient if I was a changeling. If Gandalf had just summoned the eagles.
Right, yes.
It would have been so much easier.
I'd just change into a pterodactyl and take it up there. Yeah.
And Quark goes, hey, shut the fuck up, Pinocchio.
Yeah, you got what you wanted.
Right?
Yeah.
Because I used to see you coming into the bar, watching more and eat. Okay, creepy. And then he says...
Eyeing my customers as they gambled and flirted with the double girls, wishing you were one of them.
Okay, Oxford comma.
Right.
One of the customers or one of the double girls?
I think, well, yes. But I think the best comments from Quark is his last one.
You're one of us now. And I can finally sit on the chair and know with absolute certainty that it isn't you.
Oh, so disappointed.
So, Nog has done well on his first day. O'Brien is walking him down the corridor.
You did a good job today, Nog. You've an excellent grasp of mechanical engineering.
Ferengis have a natural talent for figures, sir.
Yeah, hometown boy made good. And, like, this always warms my heart. This whole arc for Nog, and I know it's very tragic that he goes through some traumatic experiences later in the series, but, man, just the pride that this community has, seeing, like, one of the kids growing up.
Especially Quark is very enthusiastic
about
it. Jake has managed to destroy the apartment.
Yeah. As he says,
man's got to live. Sometimes living is messy.
Yeah, and he doesn't want to. He doesn't want to go out and do. He doesn't want to clean. I'm working on the story, but it turns out he's playing electronic domjot and
computerized domjot. Oh,
yes.
What an incredible Nog! You must be fun at parties.
Game. Yes.
Yeah, computerized domjot. It's called GTA.
But yes, Nog threatens, like, I'll leave. And look, I'll be moved out,
Yeah, especially because they start really insulting each other. You know, Nog calls Jake a layabout.
Kind of true.
Yeah. And Jake says that, like, Starfleet isn't for me. I've never join.
I'd die of embarrassment wearing those pajamas.
Yeah, oof.
It's just pretty harsh.
Yes, it is.
Nog is just...
He's one of those waiting for inspiration writers and not one of the sitting down and write writers.
Hey, brains need breathing room.
It depends on who's...
Floating
I mean,
curve.
like, I believe it's what's his name again? Stephen King's way of working.
Yeah.
It's just like, sit down, write 1,000 words every day. Doesn't matter if they're bad, but write them.
Yeah, absolutely. But then he also does other things in his life to give his brain. We all have different.
And then you've got George R.R. Martin, who's just like has been on a bit of a creative drought for the last 15 years.
Oh no, he's written a bunch of books, just not the one that he said he was going to write next. Very much like the writer, the writer's life, like the distracted boyfriend meme, like the project that I need to finish versus a new story idea,
You know, Kay, when you mentioned, like, Stephen King, my first thought was, Stephen King, yeah, just be like Stephen King and just do cocaine to write your stories, because if you're on cocaine, you just go. So I've heard. So that's where I thought you were going, and then you just didn't. But yeah, maybe cocaine is the writer's drug. Just do cocaine and write as much as you want. The Joy of Trek is not a health podcast. Do not listen to the dumb shit we say, please, God, no.
So yes.
And that's it. They split up.
Odo and Quark reach the zenith, and we're almost there. It's another few more hours. 6 hours or so at the most.
I could do 6. 7 might be pushing it, but 6 I could do.
Come on.
Yeah, because he's running on empty, right? He goes over to a rock thinking it's
any kind of beetle, just as long as it had a little meat
Oh
on
yes, it's like there's no beetles, there's no slugs, there's no nothing.
Oh, don't say that. They all sound so good.
And as they crest the ridge, they notice that there's a bit of a valley in between them and the mountain they were heading for.
They've climbed the foyer to the real mountain.
The footwheel hills of the headlands.
Oh, there you go. Taking another stab at that one, I see.
That's actually from Yellow Submarine, but...
Oh, very good.
More bitching and moaning.
Okay, but there is like at least some other sort of fun interactions. Like at least Quark is doing something. Like he's counting the steps down to see how long it's going to be.
Now so many steps up he will go. But
yeah, exactly.
There's a bit of bumbling about to Quark.
Yeah, because he's actually like lifting his spirits.
You know what's going to make all this worthwhile? The look on your face when they let me go.
Yes, because
the Orion Syndicate tried to kill me.
And they never tried to kill their own.
Because they don't need to. And, this is where Odo sort of realizes, okay.
I might have been wrong, yes.
Yeah.
I don't think he quite buys it yet at this point, but it's something that he...
Because he realizes that he is a witness against the Orion Syndicate because he isn't a member. And this is where Odo sort of realizes a new angle to...
But you must have tried to join.
Yes. And then, he tries to maintain his superiority because...
If I remember correctly, the Orion Syndicate has a membership fee, quite a substantial one. And the Ferengi Commerce Authority did seize all your assets.
Oh, poor Space Goblin.
Yeah, it's like you wanted to join them, but you can't because you just can't afford it.
Yeah, you never could.
All those years of scheming and lying and cheating, and you're still too small time for the Orions.
But Quark comes back.
Which means you spent the last 10 years of your life trying to catch a nobody, with little success, I might add.
So which one of us is the bigger failure?
And that leaves, Odo slightly shut up, and Quark goes back to counting his steps.
Oh, this is actually a really good GIF where we have both of them just eyeing each other like the same surprised owl.
Yes, I see what you mean.
And Odo lets out a frustrated grunt, which is also a favorite GIF now.
Frustrated.
If you need these in your lives as reaction GIF, you can become a lemon-stealing whore, just like a friend of the show, Matt, who recommended this. Over on our Patreon, you go to joyoftrek.com/links. You can sign up. It's only $5 a month, and you can grab a whole bunch of excellent GIFs. And your cat is about to use the whore as a...
Oh, that's fine. She never does that. She just likes peeking out at the boydies. Oh, look. On DS9, we have two fathers coming together in a bit of a reminisce.
Captain, may I join you?
That's convenient, isn't it?
What?
That the captain of an entire space station just happens to have 5 unattended minutes just around the time that the only other single father in his friend group happens to...
He's just sitting in the cafe having a read. He might just be going through the duty roster.
Totally.
Yeah.
But this is a man with very many obligations, lots of people who are clamoring for his time, and just having free time to bump into one another.
Yes.
Especially when it's so plot convenient.
Yeah, Rom works the night shift, so we don't know what time this is. We have
true.
no idea. But yes, Rom is concerned, because Nog is acting weird.
Which he's...
A year at the academy will do that to people.
But Rom has another theory.
I was afraid he might be a changeling.
And so he took a blood sample while Nog was asleep. And now quite a lot.
And now he's sitting there shaking it and waiting for it to change or not.
He's still your son.
Yeah. He's just taking his duties very seriously. Sisko is excellent throughout this episode and really relating with Rom. Because there was a time when he was very annoyed with Ferengi, right?
Oh, yes.
He had prejudices born of experience and rumor and facts also.
But they come to realize that the other son has some of the qualities that they would like their boy to have more.
Yeah.
And those two could learn a lot from each other.
If we could only get them in the same room.
Right. So, plot hatched.
Yes. Well, I'm an engineer and I'm the boss of fucking space. So yeah, between the two of us, we should be able to...
We can make this out. More bitching and whining between Odo and Quark.
Well, there is some degree of concern because Quark isn't waking up in spite of Odo smacking him on the head repeatedly going...
Wake up!
Wait, Quark! Stop hitting me!
Yeah. And as they plod on...
I hate this transmitter, and I hate this mountain, and most of all, I hate the Orion Syndicate for stranding us here.
Yeah, because they're feeling the effect. Quark has gone deaf in one ear, which is apparently a thing that can happen to Ferengi in response to cold and deprivation.
Body is shutting down, and they finally, the tensions rise.
Yep, because...
You're nothing but a petty thief!
It comes into... It goes...
Fascist freak!
Hate your endless
lecture!
Come on, let's do it! Come on, you're doing so great! I'm sure everyone really enjoyed that.
Fascist! Fascist lecture freak!
Anyway,
I hope you all enjoyed that at home.
And they end up pushing, shoving, rolling down the hill, and...
Showing some concern, Odo asks...
Are you all right?
And then admits...
My leg is broken.
Yes.
Yeah.
He urges Quark to go on alone, but Quark will have none of it. He lays a splint on Odo's leg.
And builds a stretcher.
And he starts
Awful quick.
Yeah, very well.
Very convenient having those nice long straight branches.
Yeah, isn't it? Just...
And then completely realistically, this underfed, trained person
starts lugging this other human-sized person
who's significantly larger than he himself
up the hill,
along with a transmitter, uphill over untrodden ground. Absolutely incredible.
Yes.
And kind of unbelievable, but we've never been in a situation anywhere close to that. Who knows what it does to your body? And of course, what wouldn't you be willing to do for the man you'd love with all your heart?
in all honesty, Odo has the right idea here. He's Quark should go on alone.
Yeah, exactly. Why spend calories on me?
Yes, exactly. It makes no sense. Like, usually it's stay together, but in a scenario like this, no. Definitely split up, because you're not going to help each other. Like,
yeah, like, if you want to give him the best chance of survival, give him the coat.
Yeah, exactly. Because he's not going to be able to move as much. You're going to be able to stay warm by moving at least.
That's the best sacrifice that you can make. But then, even then...
Yeah. Which he actually does. He does get the coat.
That's true.
And uphill is being trudged. There's a few attempts to test if it works, but no, it's not working still. We have to go higher. Quark goes face down and he gives up.
He's out.
Yeah, we are not doing it. I'm done. I can't. It's like...
Literally unable to...
I can't move.
We're doing it again.
I'm frozen. I haven't eaten for days.
So, yes. And even more pig-headed than Quark, who is now given up, Odo went, well, screw that.
Yep.
Sisko were here. He wouldn't give up, and neither is Woodwharf or Dax, and Odo just starts pushing the transmitter up, dragging his broken leg up the mountain and moving on ahead.
Because if you're not going to drag my broken leg over stumps and rocks...
I'll do it.
I'll do it myself. I'll make sure that this once proud femur of mine turns into a bag of Skittles.
Cocky, this is the second podcast that I've done with you where you compare broken bones to bag of Skittles, and I just, like... Are you okay there? Like, do I need to be concerned about you while you're so hyper-focused on, like, bones turning to Skittles? Cocky, don't taste the rainbow. The commercials are lies. Commercials are lies. They're not historical documents, Cocky.
Quark gets the right.
Trying to shame me into carrying that thing the rest of the way on my own.
Yes, he is.
Yeah,
in fact.
Absolutely. That's definitely what he's doing.
And it works.
Because Quark does grab the transmitter from him.
And starts walking up, and the passing words from Odo.
Good luck.
And Quark says...
Try not to break your other leg while I'm gone.
Sisko goes for a surprise visit to Jake.
Yeah, not even calling ahead, just barging right in. Because, you can't have these quarters anymore.
Oh no.
Sorry.
It's two-person quarters and you can't live there on your own.
So it says in the regulations since 4:30 this afternoon.
And there are no smaller quarters available, because apparently it's really... What happened to that quarter on 1M?
Yeah, no, it's all occupied, and there are also no single sort of unattached potential roommates anymore since the airlock incident.
So...
Cadet!
Yeah, this is real efficient resolution. Like, it's so quick.
I'm your superior officer, and I'm your father, and the two of you are going to make this work.
Because,
here. I know the two of you are very different people, but you're still friends, and somehow, some way, you'll make this work.
Yeah.
Good day, gentlemen.
Which works on both levels. Now he's wearing both hats.
Yes, exactly. And they are, in fact, like, he starts making them, and Jake is like, okay, yeah, we're going to start cleaning. He first asks if Nog is going to start cleaning, but no, he has to study. And then Jake will go like, all right, well, I'll do it then. It's a pigsty. No, it's not that bad. And yes, it is bad. And
yeah.
Like, then he offers to go to the gym. And
I have a better idea. How about a game of Dom Shot?
Yeah. Because they realize that... Oh, it used to be when you grow up with a friend, or when you have a longtime friend, like, you sort of change together, right? And you remain compatible with each other because you fit each other's grooves. And when you've gone apart for a while and you come back together, it's not so easy. No. It takes work.
Yes. Because,
now
you've changed differently. You've changed apart from each other.
Yeah, it's not so natural to figure out what someone else wants or needs, and what you want or need, and communicate that. Like, it used to be effortless, like it just happened on its own.
Yeah.
And now you got to put the work in, and they're willing to do it.
Quark is hauling himself up the side of the mountain.
Yes.
Groaning, as the subtitle says.
Great filter over the lens to make it look extra cold.
Dark, cold,
they're blowing. Oh, it looks like snow blowing over him. Ooh.
And Odo believes that he is on his last message, because...
Chief of Security's log. Final entry.
Yeah, I think from today, Aubergine didn't remember the line completely, because Chief of Security Zlog.
Looks like Quark didn't make it.
You'll find his body farther up the slope. No doubt he'd want you to vacuum desiccate his remains and auction them off.
And me just
Not that
cremate
they're
me.
worth much.
Yeah. Cremate me. Put
Yep.
me in the
In my
the
bucket and shoot me through the wormhole so I can go back where I came from.
And then he says,
Or better yet,
and we never get to
hear what it is, because at that point he gets beamed up by the Defiant.
Oh, better late than never. Dr. Bashir to the rescue. Odo is astonished that he's alive.
Yes.
And also Quark, because Worf and Dax are there.
We found him on top of the mountain, slumped over a subspace transmitter.
Yeah, and...
If it wasn't for a signal, we never would have found you.
Yes.
Looks like you saved both of your lives.
I was afraid you'd say that.
Like, damn it. And then we get a final scene of them in sickbay beside to each other.
Yeah. Okay, I know that we both really want to see Quark sleeping like Ferengi do, but in a sick bed, that sort of sets the wrong message.
Sure. Yes.
Right?
Oh,
I
yeah,
don't
you
think
can't really sleep in a body bag. Yeah, okay. It's like every time one of the nurses comes walking in, you get a little heart attack.
Yeah. So no Ferengi sleeping in here, please.
But yes, he made it all the way to the top.
Yeah, surprising Odo. He's...
Astounded.
Yeah.
And they open up to each other, because that's the important thing in any relationship is communication.
Right.
Right?
Yeah, so...
You remember back there when I told you I hated you?
Yeah.
And you told me you hated me?
Yeah.
Vividly.
Yes.
I meant it.
So did I.
And that's it.
We just keep laughing and laughing. Yeah, wow.
There we go.
That's actually kind of a monstrous way to end an otherwise very fun show. Matt, thank you so much for this recommendation. That was amazing.
So, yes. I mean, it's like nothing really happens, is it?
I've already forgotten again that
Yes.
this episode exists. It's just gone. It's not bad. It's actually really great, but... Oh, maybe it's because Odo and Quark refuse to change. It's just not in them.
Yes. No. So, what did you think was...
So fucking cool.
Quick, before you forget it.
Yeah, no, it's actually really difficult. Oh, no, it's not. Nog's arc is my favorite on DS9, which probably conflicts with some other things that I've said are my favorite. You know how it goes. Kaki
Yes.
loves everything. It has been said. But really, like, going from this street punk to, like, 1,000 years later, they're still naming ships after him.
Sure, yeah.
Right?
I mean, he was the first Ferengi to enter Starfleet. That alone, even if he was unremarkable in every other way, that alone is already enough to make him in the history books.
Yeah,
You know,
absolutely. And just the love that this community has for this boy, sort of like in Carbon Creek, right? Where you had the innkeeper's son.
Yeah, yeah. And everybody was tipped, all the money in the tip jar was for his college fund.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. Like O'Brien feels that way. He works with Rom all the time.
Yeah.
And he's a father himself. So is Sisko, for that matter. Like it takes a village to raise a child, and Deep Space Nine has done that. And there's not.
Very true. Well, and Jake.
Yeah,
I think they did a better job on Nog than on Jake.
The tryhards in Starfleet, anyway. That's what they think. I mean,
True,
Jake is fantastic in his own right. So that's my.
All right.
I think that's very fucking cool.
Mine
How
is
about
going
you?
to be Rom.
Yeah,
I really love Rom in this episode, especially in the beginning when he's like
love.
when he's with that little. I'll tell Nog you said hi, you know, and how he goes and talks to Sisko for his concerns and is like, "Ooh, snail juice, extra shells." Like, what does that do? I mean, what like are you supposed
Adds
to crunch the shell? I guess. Yeah. It's kind of like maybe it's the Ferengi version of Boba.
Boba. Oh, that's a nice idea. I mean, it doesn't sound very appetizing, but it probably
Who
very
knows? It might be the soft shell crab. There might be soft shell snails.
I don't know. Do soft shell crabs like have soft shells?
I have no idea.
I don't know.
It's like,
Either. I don't know a lot about invertebrates as
All right, so
food.
which leaves us with the other things like
Captain's log, supplemental.
Oh my
what
god.
scene was left out on the cutting room floor.
Okay, I'm going to tell you, I
Yeah?
had such a great idea, but the curse is struck.
That's left
And
your mind.
It's just gone.
Oh wow!
I really can't think of it. It was so clever. Maybe it was something that Sisko was doing off screen. I thought, oh, this is brilliant. We're going to love coming back to it. I'm not going to interrupt the flow of this episode.
Oh, no. Oh, dear. I mean, I must say, I kind of forgot about this item while I was watching the show.
Okay, so the curse extends to you as well. There's the Ascent curse.
Right. Oh, God, yes.
Yeah.
Flatulence, you mean? It's like...
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. There's your plasma vent right there.
Oof.
Oh, I do have one.
All
I think
right.
I have one. And it's Rom, who...
I'll say hi to Nog for you.
Yeah.
When Quark is taken away, and then he turns around and he clears the table of root beer, and he opens up his laptop and he starts doing his various business dealings through Quark's account, and you can see that he's sending an email through, Quark is open for business, from rom@orionsyndicate.org, because he totally is a member, and has been for 30 years, and Quark just doesn't know it.
He's a sleeper cell. Yes,
Yeah,
very
exactly.
good. Oh,
how about you?
Oh, and
Quick, before you forget the episode.
I mean, there's little hidden scenes we can get for Odo and Quark, unless it's like they find something else to bicker about. I don't know, because that's what pretty much all they do. So it wouldn't have to be there. I'm thinking maybe Jake at some point, like a scene where he is just basically going around. I think I have one. So Jake's
all right.
Jake leading up to the scene where Sisko tells him that he's they're back to roommate.
Victim, yeah.
Yes, he is sitting at their old spot on the promenade, sitting there and doing a little reminiscing and self-reflection. That maybe we should go and get and work a little better towards Nog. Like, be a little less of a layabout.
And maybe that's the story that he's been writing about while he pretended to be playing computerized Dom-Dot.
Yes.
I found it. Okay, I found it. I remember what it was. It's not as good as the one that I already had, but it's still pretty good. And it's when Odo is recording his final message and has his will, and goes, or better yet, the alternate cut, he wasn't beamed away. Before he could say, bury us side by side, wrapped in a single silk bolt, and entomb us, and write on the walls.
Here lie two friends.
Yeah.
Yes, I guess future historians are going to find them together and go,
exactly.
They must have been really good
Very
friends.
good friends. Chnum Hotep, I think was his name. It was two men buried together. Both of them had wives and families with whom they were not buried. They were buried together in death as they were in life. One of them was a royal manicurist. The other was a scribe. And they're history's oldest known roommates.
Yes. So, let's find out.
Oh, yes.
What will be
next time on an all-new episode of Star Trek.
Because, as always, the Chief has prepared for us a few clues which hopefully will lead us to guessing what next week's episode is going to be.
Because if you would like to recommend an episode just like Matt did, and hey, thank you so much, Matt has therefore proven that us repeatedly extending this invitation can eventually lead to people taking that step. So be a Matt.
And suggest an episode. And you can do that by going to joyoftrek.com/links.
Nailed it, Kay. I'm so proud. I'm so proud. I still didn't have a sound effect for how proud I am.
Where you will find a link that allows you to give a suggestion.
Or to become a lemon-stealing whore like Matt as well. Like two things that you can do, neither of which you should do while you were driving. But if you're not driving, joyoftrek.com/links. Let's find out what we have in store for us next week. We start off with the first clue, which is...
Halfway to Hell is still not a recommended destination.
Sounds Vulcan-y.
What was the first word? Highway?
Halfway to Hell.
Oh, Halfway to Hell. Okay, yes.
I want to say Enterprise.
Okay.
Halfway to Hell sounds like a trip line.
Sure, yeah.
Right? Okay. Second clue.
Computer, dictate the file logged shit I stole from the Borg Queen.
Shit I stole from the Borg Queen.
Okay.
Okay, I stand corrected.
Delete the file shit I stole from the Borg Queen.
Okay, one more? Or another?
If you want access to my innermost thoughts, Locutus, you're going to have to put something on the table. Something that hurts you to lose.
Sounds...
What?
I mean, I'd almost think Picard at this point.
Yeah.
But I've almost not seen any of it, so I wouldn't know which
Oh, let it be, let it be. Let's have another clue.
So, to be clear, wake a queen who could kill us all, beam off a ship with no power, and find a watcher who may or may not exist.
Yes.
Sounds like Picard.
It's Picard. It's like deep, deep in the woods. This is season 3 of Picard. We have one more clue.
What you've just done here is more difficult and vastly more dangerous than you realize.
Ooh.
And what is that? You've impressed me.
Ooh.
No idea.
Oh, this is so good. This is so good. Now I don't even know if it's season 3. I don't know which one it is. Let's find out.
The episode is Picard 203, Assimilation.
Oh my God,
at least
season 2.
At least we got the show, right?
Yes, well, there were some beloved listeners who were screaming into their headphones.
Of course.
A good job if you got it right. And hey, let's go explore some Picard. I don't think you've seen season 2 at all, have you?
Don't think so, no.
It's been a while since we had an adventure like that. So off we go.
And we will only be doing one more
I'm
thing.
leaving Starfleet.
Energize! Da, 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 da.
We hope you've enjoyed this week's episode with your friends Kay and Kaki. Production and editing by our chief engineer Greg, and music by Fox Amour. Join us next time for Assimilation, Picard 203. Visit joyoftrek.com/links to send us your recommendations, support us on Patreon, or to find us on Twitter. We'd love to hear from you. Thank you for listening to Joy of Trek. See you out there.